Alright, we're back on gaming. I bet you didn't expect this video this quick, did you? Exactly. I had a little bit of time this week, so as you can see, I can get back into the motion of things. But of course, we want to go back to how it was maybe next week. However, I wanted to make sure that I got these videos out due to the fact that it's been a couple weeks because I've been very busy in real life. Very busy. So, with that said, before we get started on the gaming aspect and all the problems that we have in gaming and all things, the news, everything, I want to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, about a thing real quick, alright? About the charity that we're doing real quick. Due to the fact that not too long ago, last week, we did an Overwatch charity stream, and it really made me mad because, not because we didn't get any donations, it made me mad because the footage of it wasn't salvageable, okay? And for those who watched the stream, you know, it had, for some reason, we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but on our end, you know, as a team, as we played extremely well, we played extremely effective, and it went great as far as I'm concerned. I had a great experience last week with Overwatch and my teammates playing and winning games. Absolutely amazing. It was fun to do. You know what I mean? You could hear everyone talking. Everyone was joking. It was a great time. All right. However, I will say this. I know we didn't make any donations during that time, and of course I couldn't put it on YouTube because, like I said, the footage wasn't salvageable. So I want to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, about these videos that I do. Okay, the ones that you watch just for informational, like today. I range around 3,000, maybe 5,000 views per gaming video, okay? Now, I'm thinking to myself, if everyone who viewed this video, all right, or those videos, if you just gave $1, that's right, just $1, and understand that, you know, $1, I understand it's not much, $1's not much, but it's very helpful. It starts to add up. For every view, if I swear, if that's how YouTube works, if for every view you get $1, we would have passed gold by now, because like I said, the goal is $1,000. For every view that I get, if everyone would have donated $1 by now, we would have destroyed gold. And of course, that wouldn't mean I wouldn't stop streaming. No, I told you before that I have a specific list of games I'm going to play. If we make gold today or not, I'm still going to play them because I'm a man of my word. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where please think about, you know, every time you watch a video, if you like it, I understand people like, you know, like the thumb up stuff, but please think about giving $1 towards this charity to help sick and injured children. You know, they could be future gamers, future developers. You never know. So what I'll do is I'll put the link, of course, in the description field. But since that's all I want to say about that, let's move on to the actual problems in gaming, shall we? And I want to start off with something that I talked about before, I championed before actually, and now it's finally released. Let's talk about Sonic Mania. Now, for those who remember, all right, I had said I was big on Sonic Mania. I was hoping, you know, Sonic Mania was coming out because remember, it was delayed, and he delayed it for Sonic Forces at one point. And we were like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I was like, no, I want Sonic Mania right now. So, now that Sonic Mania is upon us, except for the PC version, I believe, because it was delayed. And apparently it's going to be a good thing. We'll talk about that later, all right? Apparently some optimization issues or something like that. Listen, we'll talk about it later. However, Sonic Mania, okay? For what we're seeing, everyone already is having fun. Now, this week, I didn't have a chance to get the special edition, okay? There's people already online saying that the special edition isn't worth it. So now I'm like, should I just get the game or should I get the special edition? Now I'm stuck because I had to spend some money this week on a new fight bag. You know what I mean? That's for work, so I had to buy stuff for work. I can't do nothing about that. In order to make money to buy Sonic, I gotta spend money on work to get some stuff. You know what I mean? So it's almost like if you worked somewhere and you had to buy some you know, Dickies or some new boots or something, you know, for wherever you're working, like construction or something. You have to spend money for your job in order to get more money. You know what I mean? So that's what I had to do. I had no choice. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I had to spend money for work to get more money. You know what I mean? It's more convenient for me now to lug all that equipment now to work. However, like I said, I'm already seeing that people are saying that the special edition is not worth it. So now I'm at a crossroads here, whether I get the special edition. I mean, do I really need Sonic on a Sega Genesis? I mean, I still have my Sega Genesis, but the Sonic, you know, Sonic stuff, as opposed to just buying the game. That's where I'm stuck right now at. And if I'm going to just buy the game, then after this video, I can just buy the game. It's not a problem. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to hear your thoughts on the special edition first before I decide to spend the money on special edition as opposed to just buying the game. The game isn't that much as opposed to the special edition. That's where I was conflicted. Should I buy stuff for work or should I buy the special edition? That's what it came down to. Standard version, that's not going to be a problem. I can buy that whenever. You know what I mean? So, with that said, we are already seeing gamers who are having fun playing Sonic, you know, Sonic Mania. But of course, the gaming media Media has to turn it into something else, right? Because now apparently Sonic is Dark Souls. Because already they're complaining that the game is too hard. Of course, leave it up to these idiots to write this. You've got to be kidding me that it's this hard. Look. If we go back, and I know we always talk about, the games in the past, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Castlevania 2 for me, I felt Castlevania 2 at night, give them no items at night and play Castlevania 2. Some of you say, what about Castlevania 3? Some people can say that. You have other people who always bring up Battletoads. You know what I mean? There's other games that we know that are really hard back in the day. But when we sit back and we talk about those games being hard, it's because we've had ample time to play these games throughout our years as a kid. Not as an adult, really, but as a kid. We grew up with those games being that hard. I mean, we can go back to Jurassic Park if we want to. You know what I mean? Like, look. These games we've played over and over and over, so we can sit back and have a good laugh about it and still talk about how hard they are today as adults. However, how do you make an article saying that Sonic Mania is too hard? The game just came out. You haven't given yourself enough time to play this game. There's no way you can sit here and say, I just played a couple boards, this is too hard for me, I'm going to write an article and complain about it. Because that's what it is. It's complaining. It's not being critical at this point. It's complaining. It really is. You can't tell me that you've had enough time to figure it out. I mean, don't get me wrong. Come on, people. It's Sonic. All right? It's Sonic. And yeah, there's some trial and error in Sonic if you don't know what you're doing at times, especially when you're rolling or platforming. But you learn from the situation and you keep moving on. That's what you do. Okay? I don't understand how anybody can write an article so quickly and say that Sonic Mania is too hard. It's so hard. And says it still sucks. It's a little bit better than the original, but it still sucks. What? Come on. Look, we've seen this as of late, where whether it's in the gaming media or even we've saw before, remember when they had those meetings, game developers, you don't have to like games to make them. We are seeing a lot of people who hate games in not only the industry, but in the media. Why are you here? Why? And I'm not trying to hear, well, the money's good, the paycheck or whatever. No. Go do what you feel is good for you. If you're not happy with what you're doing, then move on. That's what you do. But instead, you stay here and you keep slandering not just the games, but also the gamers as well. I don't get it. If you don't like it, then leave. Leave. What's the point? What's the point? So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, what I've seen of Sonic Mania, I've watched people play it. It looks fun. I kind of figured this is what I was going to be, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to that. And now, I wasn't looking forward to Sonic Forces that much, but after we saw the trailer for Sonic Forces, with the trolling aspect of all this, I can't wait. I can't. Because I'll tell you this, Sonic Forces, when it comes to something like this, can change the landscape of trolling. It could bring it back to what it used to be. The old golden age of trolling, where people would troll, and it would be light trolling, it'd be fun trolling, and people would be like, is this person serious? I can't tell if this person's serious or not. Instead of the way that people act these days, where in order to troll, they automatically call you a bunch of names and think, haha, I got his attention, that's what I want, that's how I'm trolling. That's not trolling. That's not trolling. I dare you call that trolling. It actually disrespects what real trolling is. So, yeah. I think Sonic Forces can bring back the golden age of trolling. I think it can. And I think it's a good thing. I mean, I'm surprised that gamers didn't take this route with other games that we could create things. We saw the golden age of trolling a little bit during Mario Maker. I'm sure we're going to see it with Mega Man Maker as well. And to a lesser extent, I'm shocked that we didn't see it more with 3D Dot Heroes. But that's just me. Which I'm going to play on stream as well. We are going to play 3D Dot Heroes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, okay? I will start from the beginning. I will more likely use Link. Yeah, we're going to do that, all right? I created Link. I already have the link, so it doesn't matter. We're going to do it. But yeah, I find it extremely odd that we are seeing this so much as of late. And it's kind of sad. It really is. But let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Blizzard is to launch a global diversity initiative, recruit and retain more women and minorities. Now, I had this talk online on Twitter with a number of you, all right? Because I felt it was absolutely ridiculous that we have people who are extremists who are, look, I'll play this. We know that SJWs can be extreme, all right? We see that, all right? That's one side of the fence. Then we see people who are fighting so hard against them that they become so extreme. So now you have two extremes, and the rest of us in the middle like, yo, why don't y'all both just shut the hell up? Is that possible? Like, seriously, because they go off the reservation. They overreact to every little thing. This article, okay, saying that they're going to try and have a diversity program and have more women and, minorities. Of course, there were idiots out there who was like, oh, it's all about women. It's the women. They're saying forget the men and all this. No, that's not what they're saying. That's not what they're saying. They're saying they're going to try and get more minorities, and that means men as well, of a specific group. Anybody can, you have to understand, there's a lot of people who can be minorities, all right? It's not just women. And I understand that the gaming industry has made it very known that sometimes code word for minority is now women, all right? And we should say code word for minority is now upper class women. We should, we've seen that. We've seen it, all right? And not so much of people of color and different races and stuff like that, all right? And I know that was a big deal for a lot of people when we had this discussion, okay? But you have to understand that, of course, the biggest issue of all of this, if there's an issue with this at all, is, once again, you should hire the person who's best for the job. It doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman, or if they're black, or if they're white, or Mexican, or whatever. Doesn't matter. The person who is best qualified for the job should get the job. Bottom line. That's how it is, all right? That's how business works. That's how you have quality. If you want to sit here and you want to say, we're just going to hire all women or whatever, and we got to find out where to get them from, then you're going to end up with Mass Effect Andromeda. Or you're going to end up writing stories for Marvel. That's what's going to happen. So as far as I'm concerned, Blizzard, I think Blizzard has a little bit of a better handle on this than most companies. Overwatch is a great game. I've seen people already. You want people to stop playing Overwatch, don't you? You want to hurt your sales on Overwatch, don't you? Have you seen the sales for Overwatch? Have you? People, I play this. People who are saying this, I don't even think play Overwatch. I don't think they do. That's not going to stop Overwatch. Hell, the character designs and the way the characters are personality-wise in Overwatch that are women are amazing. So I'm not trying to hear that, if we hire more women, it's going to turn into a more women game. Most of us use women anyway. So it doesn't matter. Unless you're good with Hanzo, you know what I mean? Or something like that. Think about it. Widowmaker now with the buffs is pretty much like Hanzo. I mean, most of the women in the game are so damn cool, you're not worried about that. You're not. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter. Now, if you want to hire more minorities, okay. I can see the valiant effort in it. Because if you know your history when it comes to real life, and we're not just talking about video games, about minorities trying to get jobs and things of that nature, it's been very hard for us, all right? I have a lot of personal stories about that, which I don't want to get into because of airtime, but lots of personal stories where I was told, you know what I mean, I was not getting his job simply because I was black. So I'm just letting you know that now. On the phone interview is completely different, yeah, but then when I got there, they didn't like that. So let me, like I said, I don't want to explain that. That's a story for a different day, but let's move on. Like I said, so the tides are somewhat turned. I really don't feel bad. There's a part of me that says, you know what I mean? Tides have turned. And there's another part of me that says, no, you hire the best person who's qualified for the job. That's what you do, you know? So Blizzard, we'll see where it goes with Blizzard with this, okay? And more news. I need to talk about Lawbreakers. Since we're on Overwatch, we might as well talk about Lawbreakers, right? Because it's almost like Overwatch. Yeah, I know. Cliffy B. Oh, my God. Cliffy B. comes out and says he's a polarizing personality, and that might have harmed Lawbreakers' reception. Cliffy B, let's talk about you. You want to say that you have a polarizing personality, that's wrong. See, there's a difference between having a polarizing personality, like myself, and being an absolute fucking asshole, like you. And you're the latter, you are. Look, for those who do not remember, when Devil May Cry was coming out, and he was interviewed and asked, how do you think, the fans will react that they're using, Unreal Engine to do Devil May Cry as opposed to the MT, you know what I mean? And he was like, well, if the fans don't like it, they can suck my dick. That's what he said. So you're telling potential customers to suck your dick. That's what you're saying. This is how developers act. Then these developers have a nerve to complain when gamers get on them as well. Look at the way gamers are acting. Well, look at the fucking way you're acting. What do you expect? And some of these people have to understand, these developers, that these gamers that are fans of those, that they're influential. So if a fan sees that in them, they're going to think, well, if he can do it, I can do it. That's his attitude. I can act that way and be cool too. That's what they're going to do. So, Cliffy B, you want to sit here and you want to say, well, it might hurt the reception of my polar... No, you don't have a polarizing personality. You're just a fucking asshole. That's all it comes down to. And I'm not going to buy any game with your name on it. Just like with Dan Slott, I'm not buying any book with his name on it. It's been 4 years and I haven't bought a book with his name on it. You don't think I can't keep to my word? Come on now. Gears now, as far as I'm concerned, Gears wasn't. Microsoft has Gears now, right? Cliff has nothing to do with that. So if you're buying Gears now, it's not that big of a deal. It's amazing what they say, and then they expect you to be okay with it. I'm telling you, in the real world, if you said some shit like that, you would get clean knocked the fuck out for that. I mean, look, in the real world, if you call a man a bitch in the real world, those are fighting words. Those are fighting words right there. Let alone telling him someone to suck your dick. Yeah, Cliff, you didn't went too far. You went too far. So, I'm making Lawbreakers. Don't give a fuck. I got Overwatch. Don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand why people keep giving these companies second chances. I don't understand. Hellblade, we just saw it not too long ago. People going to actively buy Hellblade? What the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? And it's not just because of the attitude of Ninja Theory, even though that's a big deal. Because remember, Ninja Theory was first to go after Naughty Dog and say, oh, well, Uncharted, they overused graphics so much for this game and it was uncalled for, judging Naughty Dog, and Naughty Dog sitting back like, really? Are we just counting our money? That's what we doing. That's what we doing. And then Ninja Theory turns around, makes Hellblade, and what's the first thing people say? Oh, the over-visualization, it's great and all that. Wait a minute. You just got finished complaining about Naughty Dog using too much graphics, and then you do this shit. Hypocrites. Not to mention all the things that Ninja Theory has done over time. After they told fans, after Devil May Cry was made, they weren't getting a patch. Yeah, y'all ain't getting shit. This is it. Once this game is done, y'all not getting anything else. What happened? Fans revolted. Remember that video I showed with all those glitches and everything? And then Greg Mann had to come out from Capcom Unity and have a talk with me? They had no choice but to fix the glitches. No choice. The fans stood up and they rallied against that. Ninja Theory had no choice. And then what happened? They had to make a definitive edition because the game wasn't that good. And what happened? They had to make it more like, the original Devil May Cry's. And what happened there? It was too late. So as far as I'm concerned, the lesson should have been learned right then and there. And yet, this entire time when they're making Hellblade, we saw no apology. No regret from Tamim in those videos. No regret from the company in general. Remember, they had that guy get on there, you should support us because we're indie. I don't give a fuck what you are. Your attitude is the problem. You just saw that with Necrostorm, did we not? And now they're trying to clean up their act. It makes a difference when you try and alienate fans, or not even fans, potential customers who are watching this on the outside and saying, hey, look, you're treating these people like shit. I don't want nothing to do with them. You are hurting potential sales. That's what you're doing. And people had the nerve to still give it a chance. Unreal. Y'all must be masochists. I don't understand gamers these days where you have no type of fucking heart, no type of fucking backbone. That you're going to let a company talk down to you like this, treat you like shit, tell you that you're not worth anything, then, of course in the game, make fun of you in the game, and then they want you to go on and buy their future projects. Fuck out of here. And for what I hear, the game was very disappointing anyway. And then we have idiots already trying to compare Hellblade to, Horizon Zero Dawn. How do you do that? They're not even the same game. How do you do that? Come on, just stop being stupid. Stop. Or should I say, stop being stupid. But it's amazing. It's amazing how far these people will go. Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. I think that was enough for that because it needed to be said as far as I'm concerned. And if you didn't like it, oh well. Anyways, let's move on to the fighting game community because I have some news for you. Some good news and a little bit of bad news that need to be addressed, okay? So, let's get started, okay? Neo Geo, that's right, has come out with a visual history hardcover. It's a book. And, of course, it runs for about $22, but it's an amazing book. On the cover, you got the people from King of Fighters, and then you have, on top, Fatal Fury. It's actually separate. I understand that the Fatal Fury team is in King of Fighters, but no, as you know, Fatal Fury kicked all of this off. That's how it happened. That's why I always stay Team Fatal Fury. Always Team Fatal Fury. Of course, you can move on to other stuff. As you know, when I do my lineups, when I play King of Fighters, I'm always using Leona. I'm always using Terry as my anchor. Like, I always mix it up. You know what I mean? Just not too long ago, I was using Clark and was like, not bad. You know what I mean? This year for 14. So, yeah. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, the characters, if you've grown up with these characters since 94, you're going to love them no matter what. You just are. You know what I mean? And I feel as though, again, King of Fighters not getting its due, but SNK also isn't helping things any. When people are sticking their neck out for you, and they're saying, hey, look, we're going to put on a tournament. We're going to promote you. We're going to do everything we can to help you with King of Fighters in the U.S. Because for those who don't know, the stigma, especially in the fighting game community, when it comes to King of Fighters, the U.S. doesn't play it enough. But in every other country, they are hardcore about King of Fighters. And we can change that if SNK wants to play ball. But SNK keeps saying, no, we're good. We're not going to do anything. Okay, well then guess what? Then your game's going to fail. You got a quality game and you're just going to not try to maximize its potential? I don't understand that at all. I don't. But the hardcover that's coming out, like I said, for $22, you can get it on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description field so you see it. Great. It's great. As far as I'm concerned. That's something that you want. It's one of those things where I wish that if they had bundled King of Fighters even more, maybe, because we know they're going to come with more DLC, maybe a Game of the Year edition, I doubt it, I know, but a Game of the Year edition, you bundle the hardcover with it, man, that's a pre-order automatic, man, because you have to understand, those are the type of things us gamers are used to, art books and stuff like that. Not, well, if you pre-order this, you get a character skin, you pre-order this, you get this character, you pre-order this, and you get, Tire Smoke from EA. Like, these are features that should be in the game already, should be unlockable. You know what I mean? Give us something that says, hey, go for it. That's why I was interested in, in the Sonic Mania, Special Edition, because you're actually getting something with it. But, that's just me. Anyways, let's move on. In good news for the fighting game community, because this will be an esport for those who do not know. Gundam Versus Open Beta begins next month. So if anyone, I understand there's some people already out there who have bought the Japanese version, so they're ahead. They're just getting it in. You know what I mean? Because that's how most competition is. These games, they come out in Japan first. They get the Japan version, get really good at the Japanese version. Then when it hits the U.S. and have the tournaments, they're already, they're already there. They already know what they're doing. And then those who waited for the U.S. version, they're behind, and they're like, what the hell? What's wrong with me? Why am I getting destroyed? Because you don't have the experience yet, and, that these guys have picked off, for months and months before the game came out. So it happens. It does happen. That's a different thing now. Before, it didn't even used to be like that. Arcades, we didn't have that type of access. You know what I mean? The only time we started getting access like that is when the Sega Saturn came out. And you got the Japanese part. You had to put the Pro Action Replay in the Sega Saturn so you can play the Japanese games. That's how you got it at times. Like I said, when you have, Marvel versus, Street Fighter versus X-Men you did it with. King of Fighters, you got a chance to do it with. When these games came out in Japan, first, you could do that if you got the Saturn version before it hit the arcades. But 9 times out of 10, by the time people figured out that there was a Japanese version, the arcade versions in the U.S. usually already had it. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm showing a lot of history right now. I'm showing a lot of history. However, speaking of history, we have a good announcement that is coming back. That hopefully, I'm like this, because people, I had joked about it and said it should be an esport, but people are like, no, this really should be an esport. But those who don't know what I'm talking about, they're bringing it back. Tekken Bowl. As if that wasn't enough news, Tekken 7 sold more units in 2 months than Street Fighter V did in a year. What does that tell you about Street Fighter V? Exactly. And yet, for some reason, if you keep getting these guys saying, you're just a bunch of haters. No. Listen to the community. You can look at the stats. You can look at the numbers. You can see everything. When people were complaining about Street Fighter V, and like I said, for those who like Street Fighter V, if you like it, you like it. I'm not bagging on you, okay? But when you have guys like Hipster Shield Gamer coming out and saying, you're all wrong, and you have no idea what you're talking about, and the gaming community are just a bunch of spoiled, entitled, cowards, and all this other, other carry-on nonsense he's saying, he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's that simple. The proof is in the numbers. It just is. Alright? So people went on to Tekken, because Tekken, they feel, is a better quality product than Street Fighter V. It's just that simple. Like I said, and you see the numbers, you know what I mean? That's it. There's nothing else to be said. Alright? We'll see. see who has, more longevity. But with these reveals that we're seeing with Tekken as opposed to reveals of Street Fighter V, this is pretty much done. And I also think the media has said, look, we're going to abandon Street Fighter V because Marvel vs. Capcom is getting ready to come out. We need to focus on that. And I want to talk about that in a minute, okay? Because for those who don't know, real quick, all right? Dragonball FighterZ, or Dragonball FighterZ, whatever you want to call it, all right, reveals the fighter ratings. So for those who are still interested in this game, the fighter ratings are now available, so you can see them, okay? I'll put the link in the description field for you. Now, also, Capcom to port more games over to the Switch, given the fact that the Street Fighter that did good on the Switch, I mean, it sold enough units, so now they're going to start porting over more games. That's what they're going to do. So, I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. I mean, it almost makes me feel like you weren't on board to begin with, and you were doing this testing phase where you're like, all right, let's just give them this and see what happens. That's what it seems like. You weren't just like, yeah, we're for this Switch, let's go for it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and I guess in Capcom's defense, I should say, I guess that was the best way to go about it. But you think that their relationship with Nintendo, especially with the Monster Hunter franchise, that they would have been, more gung-ho about it. You know what I mean? But they weren't. So I guess it was being very cautious on Capcom's end. They don't want to lose any more money than they have. I guess that's all it comes down to. You know what I mean? Because they want to know, how do you play a fighting game with the Joy-Cons? But now we're seeing the fact that gamers are saying, look, I found a way to have my fight stick on the Switch. But it's weird because when you see the setup, you got this big fight stick, and there's like this little Switch thing right here. It's like, yeah, it's kind of a messed up setup. It really is. There's just something wrong with that. But let's move on, shall we? So I want to talk about more Marvel vs. Capcom. And I need to talk about event scrubs. Yeah, event scrubs. Again, I do not understand what you were doing. For those who don't know, not too long ago, they wrote an article about Max having his opinion on Marvel vs. Capcom about who's going to be, revealed as characters. Now, see, this pisses me off a lot. Not because it's Max. No. I've been critical of Max in the past, and some of you are like, oh, you're just so mad at Max. No, I've been critical of him. I've never said I hated Max, okay? But I will put it like this, all right? What Max says in his videos, that's his opinion. That's speculating. It says right there, speculating, which means he don't know. He's guessing. So that's not news. That's him guessing. Why are you writing an article about somebody guessing? I don't understand this. It's not news. If Max wants to make the video, by all means, Max, make the video. Go ahead. That's for Max and his fans. You know what I mean? But to think that you're going to take his word like it's gospel and write an article about it is the biggest problem we have seen of late when it comes to fight in the community with fighting games and their news publications. We see this way too much. Do we not? If they're not plugging Max, Core Gaming did something like this, and he don't know shit either. So I'm going to sit here telling me that I'm supposed to be able to look at event hubs and take them at face value 100%. That's the truth. No, it's not. It's fucking tabloid. That's all it is. If you haven't realized this, so all these problems that we've had in the previous 3 weeks that we have seen, event hubs not talking about it. No, not at all. So the blacklisting, the attempt of kicking casuals out, we haven't seen any articles on that. The blacklisting they tried to do, we're not seeing articles on that. What happened this week with the Smash community, and we will talk about it. You don't tell me there's no articles on that? But instead, we are going to sit here and we are going to say, Max did a video. That's literally what the article is. Max did a video. If you're sub to Max, you know Max did a video. If you're on Twitter and you follow Max, you know Max did a video. Like, I don't understand why he needed, well, it's not even Max's fault. It's event hubs, event scrubs. You just promoted it. And it almost makes you feel as though you're making sure to promote this because of the fact that the hype that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is getting ready to bring in. That's what it is. Because this game doesn't have legs as far as I'm concerned until you start promoting it hard, until you get people who decide to defend it. And we're going to talk about that right now. Because for those who don't know, Capcom Pro Tours decided that they're going to throw about $600,000 in a pot, for the winner or whatever. And apparently, people are upset about that, right? All right. Now look, they're mad about it due to the fact, and I'm going to explain this, because of the fact that this type of money should have gone to games. However, you have fucking idiots in our community, again, who their only defense for this is, y'all nothing but a bunch of haters. I get real tired of this parroting bullshit. I mean, seriously, if you notice, every defense for Capcom, y'all just hating. Y'all just hating. It's almost like it's written on a chalkboard somewhere for everyone to say, this is what we're going to say. We have nothing else to say in defense of it. This is what we're going to say to deflect everything. Y'all a bunch of haters. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's the most unoriginal shit I've ever seen in my life. Like I said, this shit, the word haters has been back since 2007. Y'all still using this shit? Y'all don't have anything else to say. Let's get something very fucking clear when it comes to idiots like this, alright? Nobody is mad that Capcom has put a $600,000 pot in the Pro Tour. Not mad. You want to know why? Because that's still pennies compared to Dota and League of Legends and all that. They're getting millions on top of millions of dollars. So $600,000 is a drop in the fucking bucket compared to these other esports. So as far as I'm concerned, ain't no one mad about that. This is what they are mad about. The fact that you would try and do this at Capcom Pro Tour with a game like Street Fighter V, okay, and of course you're going to put Marvel in there, and both of these games are nowhere near quality. People want the games fixed. That's where the money should be going. Fix the games. It's quality control. But instead, they're just going to, have a botched up game and then throw this money in the pot and say, okay, all these players are going to come, and then later down the line, we'll just patch it. We'll just fix it later. We'll just do this. We'll make all these changes later. And what happened with Street Fighter V? Year 1, people was like, I don't like it. Switched up year 2, the people who stuck on the Pro Tour with year 1 was like, the fuck just happened? You just fucked us all. So as far as I'm concerned, this is not the way to go about it. They're not learning a lesson with Street Fighter V from years 1 and 2. What the hell makes you think it's going to change anytime soon? Huh? Tell me. I don't understand how people are not using logic on this at all. But of course you got these idiots. Y'all just hating. Y'all just hating. That's all you got to say. So ignore all the fucking facts. Ignore all the history that's been going on. Top players saying this type of stuff and everything. No. Everyone's just hating. Everyone's just hating. That's what you chalk it up to. No one gives a shit about the $600,000 pot when it comes to the prize, as opposed to fix the fucking game first before you decide to do some shit like this. For you to even say something like that tells me how fucking stupid you are, how fucking out of the loop you are, and why are you here? Anyways, let's move on. I said, Event Hubs, they wanted to talk about Marvel vs. Capcom, right? Okay. But they ignored specific problems that we have seen not too long ago. Matter of fact, I took it upon myself to send it to Event Hubs and to send it to SRK. All right? For those who don't know in the Smash community, during their tournament over the weekend, a Smash player, all right, Riot Lettuce or whatever this douchebag's name is, decided he needed to get there. He needed money to get there. So he opened up a GoFundMe so that people could donate to him so he can go there, right? So he goes there, he plays, first round in, he loses, mind you. He still has a chance to win because it's double elimination. You still get in. You just lost round 1, you can get back into it. Instead, once he loses, he quits. He automatically DQs himself and says, hey, I'm just going to enjoy my vacation at this point. I'm going to enjoy the weekend anymore because I don't want to play anymore because, after you sent him there, you spent your money to send him there. Well, you could have used that for charity. But he just decided, I lost one time. I'm just going to quit. Yeah, let's look at that. A bunch of bullshit. I'm going to call a number of lies on this one. For him to say, I would have been mentally in shambles if I would have lost on someone else's dime. I would have been mentally lost. I mean, if you went there and you played your hardest and you lost, the people who donated to you, they're like, hey, you tried your hardest. You know what I mean? We gave you the money because we believed in you, and that was it. Instead, you took the bitch way out and you DQ'd yourself just to go and party. That's what you fucking did on someone else's dime. But when he's called out on it, right? Because that's what he's done. Another player calls him out on it. You have to believe that he's also, again, lying. Because he says that only close friends donated to me. I'm going to call bullshit on that as well. You want to know why? Because if it was only close friends that donated, you wouldn't have put up a GoFundMe on a page for anybody to donate. If they were close friends, you picked up the phone, you'd have called them like, look, I need money. Can you help me out? Or you just saw him in person. Like, look, I need money. Can you help me out? You don't open up a public GoFundMe page knowing you have all these fans and all this other bullshit, and you're going to tell me only close friends donated. No one's buying your bullshit, okay? Again, lying. But then somebody calls him out on it and tells him he's extremely selfish, it looks bad for him, and this is exactly what he says about the community. You see that? He doesn't give a shit about the community. Who? Random FGC people? Ha 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 ha. He doesn't care on how it impacts the community or the people that donate to him. He doesn't care. So what does that tell you? Doesn't give a shit about the community, right? But there's more. Because this is what it says on his actual profile. Community leader my ass. Community leader who doesn't give a shit about the community. And throughout all this, where has there been any other people in the Smash community that's been talking about this? Over the weekend, I was talking to a couple of them and saying, hey, did you see this? Because like I said, I'm not part of the community, but I'm a dirty Smash player. But I talked to some of them and was like, did you see this? And they were like, this is unreal. I can't believe this is going on. So where are your, because you have a number of loudmouths in your community that want to be celebrities so much. They always got an opinion on something when they really need to shut the fuck up. Because there's times where they go too far. And I'm surprised someone hasn't punched them in their fucking mouth yet. But don't see them talking about this shit. No. Then we found out that the guy at one point, he was kicked out of a tournament because he got into a fight with another player, another physical altercation with another player. Why is this person still in the community? And then I'm finding out that from these other people that the big time players and the loudmouths who think they're celebrities, they got them muted. They have them muted. That's what it is. They don't want to talk about them. They don't want to confront them. They don't want nothing to do with them. That's what it is. How about this? It's time to set a precedent. This is why, if you haven't realized, Smash community, that the rest of the community, when it comes to FGC, even though they do a lot of fucked up shit, this is why they think as though you're not part of it. This is why they call you a bunch of fucking names. This is exactly why. It's time to set a precedent. It's time for your big-time players, because you got some ambassadors out there who aren't doing their fucking job. Those ambassadors are too busy worried about their own money, pleasing the sponsors, and of course the company. They don't give a shit about the community. They're not standing up for the community, because that's what an ambassador does. They don't care about that, though. It's almost like these people don't understand their roles. But when you tell them this, of course, I'm going to be the bad guy today. Y'all know that shit, right? Okay, as long as y'all know that. But you have to understand very easily, all right? You get your top players together, you get your ambassadors, get them together, and you get every tournament organizer together, and you have a meeting. And you know what you do? You ban this little bitch. That's what you do. And if you feel as though he's so fucking tough to fight someone, point him in my fucking direction. Let's see how tough he really is. Unreal. You can't tell me that y'all letting this shit slide over and over and over. And of course, again, the community's not doing anything about it. There's some of them complaining about it, but not enough. Not enough influential figures, apparently. Alright? You don't have the tournament organizers saying, hey, look, this is messed up. This is wrong. No one wants to talk about that. And then you don't have the media reporting this shit. Even though it's been sent to them right to their fucking faces. But instead, let's talk about Max and his speculation. This is the problem that you're having. Priorities. Not a factor for some reason. And you expect to be taken seriously? And I'm not saying that by other communities when it comes to gaming. I'm saying this from the people that you're trying to oppress because you want to be on TV. You want the big lucrative contracts, don't you? You want all that shit. You want everyone to be paid specifically the way, especially when you've been talking about you want your shoutcasters to be paid. I mean, come on. Let's be real here. If you want these type of things, you got to clean up your community. Bottom line. And you got to speak on it. Stop being such a bitch. Unreal. And now I'm calling out every Smash player who hasn't said anything. Yeah, you're being a bitch. It's amazing how you can get Smash players to come out just a week or two ago. Oh, you're getting on people for crying. I'm going to try and blacklist you. But this shit you let slide. This shit. Okay. Yeah, right. Anyways, I think it's time to show the fighting game in a week. And it's not an old school game. No. This one's from Japan. When you, ladies and gentlemen, sent me this, I didn't even know what I was looking at. So I felt as though we could change it up a bit. Instead of showing something old school, I'm going to show you something that's just completely weird. A fighting game where crabs, that's right, fight each other. But you know what? I really want to. I gotta try this. I don't know what it is. Like this game. Like what is this? Like Japan. I don't know. But let's move on, shall we? Oh my God, crabs fighting. I guess you can attack it for massive damage. Okay, we're never even go there. We're not even gonna go there. All right. You know the joke had to be inserted somewhere. Now let's move on. All right. Speaking of Japan and games that I'm sure people are gonna like. For those who don't know, Persona Q2 to bring Persona 5 the cast back to the 3DS. All right, so people are looking forward to that. But the biggest news that we've seen for Persona, for those who don't know, Persona 5 Dancing is announced for the PS4 and Vita. And it seems Persona fans have gone nuts on Twitter over this. I mean, I've seen so many memes and everything for this on Twitter. And the references that they're showing certain characters or where they're dancing at in certain areas where they died in the game. It's pretty cool. So, this is one of those things where I'm sure people are going to enjoy this. And, it's just one of those games, for those who have not tried to play these type of rhythm games with Persona characters, they're pretty fun. They are. So, if you get a chance, you want to do something that's actually fun, something that's away from the hustle and bustle of hardcore competition, blah, 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 this may be the game you're looking for. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, this game can be competitive too at times. But just to see the way the game is played, the system, it's actually pretty fun to sit back and just have fun. You can laugh at it, Also, in more news, just to let you know, there's been a modern N64 controller, Kickstarter, gets fully funded. All right? Now, controller got fully funded. They were asking for about, $13,000 or something like that, and they got like $30,000. They got more than what they needed. And looking at the controller, it's not that much different. It really isn't. All they did was switch the analog nozzle from being at the center over to the left. That's all they pretty much did. But this is a good thing. It's an updated controller, and dare I say, let's get the No Mercy emulations going so we can start playing No Mercy again. Can we do that? Can we do that? I mean, that would be a good thing. Perfect Dark and all. Let's do this. GoldenEye, let's do this. So I feel as though it's one of those things that it's needed. As far as I'm saying, I don't understand why Nintendo didn't do something about this. But hey, this is something that needs to be done. So third-party controller, let it work. Hopefully Nintendo doesn't put out some type of firmware or whatever the hell they can do and try to block it from being on their consoles. But it can definitely work on a PC. You know what I mean? Especially if you're deciding to emulate games. This is a good way to go about things as far as I'm concerned. Let's move on, shall we? Yep, let's move on. Let's talk about Nintendo World Championships. Yep, they're back. And of course, it's mostly Mario Kart for the 3DS. They're going to be having it at Best Buy. And I will put the link in the description field where it has the different dates of the different locations of where they will be. So if you were interested. And they're also going to have a sneak peek of some new games that Nintendo has announced already. That will be there. You'll get a chance to actually play them as a demo. So even if you don't want to, go and play in the Mario Kart 3DS tournament, you can at least go and test out these new games that you have seen already. That's right. So, let's move on. Now, like I said, I want to talk about Sonic Mania before. Sonic Mania has been delayed for the PC. And once again, optimization problems the PC is having. But Sega says the reason they're doing it, to clean it up. So, just give them a little bit of time to clean it up, and it should be good. Like I said, I don't know whether I'm going to get this for the PC or the console. Really don't know. I actually just looked at Twitter not too long ago, and people have already sent me videos, like I said, again, about the special edition not being good. So you know what I'll do is, for those who don't understand, I'll put that link as well, that video, I'll put that in the description field as well for you, okay? Now, let's move on, because as you can see, Monster Hunter, gotta talk about Monster Hunter, that's right. For those that do not know, Monster Hunter Stories RPG demo is now available, the demo for it, available for the 3DS. So, have a chance. Now remember, this RPG is turn-based. So, have fun with it on the 3DS. I wish they'd have brought it out for more platforms, But hey, 3DS, okay? Also, more news for Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Double X demo for the Switch is also now available. So, again, Monster Hunter RPG, Monster Hunter, regular Double X is out for 3DS as well, okay? Now, I need to have a talk about Destiny. That's right, Destiny 2. Does anyone even play Destiny at this point? Look, we've seen the good reports of Destiny where the community comes together and they do a number of things for charities. And you can't say anything about that. It's admirable. You know what I mean? But the game itself, the way they do things, are so bad. You know what I mean? And they keep screwing gamers. For those who don't know, again, Destiny 2 is going to have its own Pop-Tarts and energy drinks. That's right. So, let's look and see what they look like. Now, of course, when you buy this trash, it gives you double XP. That's what it does. Now, here's the thing. Again, we have seen this callous type of marketing to kids. Where, if you buy junk food, because remember, it used to be Doritos. Now it's Pop-Tarts. Buy junk food, buy energy drinks, will fuck you up, in order to get certain things. I don't understand why, this has been going on since, 2010? Why is this still a thing? Why is this still a thing? But our pro players, they drink it too, and they wear the headphones. And yeah, the headphones that you want to buy is they make sure everything is sponsored. All right? This is how they're trying to get you. Over some games. It's absolutely ridiculous. Of course they get part of that revenue. When they could be giving you free stuff, you know what I mean? Unlockables or DLC. Let's talk about the DLC, shall we? Shall we do that? Okay. Destiny 2 DLC might be just as important as the main game, says Activision. So if Destiny 2 DLC is important, number one, it just seems like it's just trying to get you to buy DLC. Because they use the word might be. Might. But if they're saying this, then it means it's very important to the story. Well, if it's very important to the story, shouldn't it have been in the story? Instead of saying, hey, look, we're going to give it to you at a later date. It's one thing if a game is already done and then you're working on something. But for you to say some shit like this about DLC, and you know how I feel about DLC, it's got to be lengthy. It's almost got to feel like it's an expansion. That's what it's got to feel like in order to get money. To say it's almost as important as the main game, it almost tells me you should have just delayed it and put it in the game, if it's that important. Okay? My logic, I know, compared to bad business practices, I know. I'm going to be wrong on this again, right? Because, delays and everything. And okay. Let's move on, shall we? Speaking of DLC, someone who does it right. Yes. Yakuza. Yep. Yakuza Kiwami to get 4 free DLC packs after release. So, Destiny 2, okay, you're going to have DLC after release, and you're going to make these people pay for it. And then you got Yakuza turn around and give you 4 free DLC packs after release. Which one do you think I'm going to go with here? Okay. Let's move on. Also, in some horror news, Scifi Horror Echo, that's right, the game, where you have to match wits against yourself. I would say, for those who are interested in something like this, of course, the link in the description field, but also understand that these are the type of games that we should be, as far as I'm concerned, we should be supporting. These type of games. Games who want to be somewhat, they can still give you that natural element of sci-fi horror, but still make you, like I said, match wits against yourself. That sounds actually pretty interesting, pretty innovative. I would love to see what happens there. I mean, you're also talking to a person who, at one point, thought that Lifeline was going to be innovative, and we saw what happened with that. Then you know what? That's still one of those games I feel everybody should play and stream and just have a natural reaction when you're using a headset and telling them the person where to go, and then she doesn't go where she's supposed to. It's one of those games that was ambitious but didn't execute well, but it's still great to play simply for salt. It just is. But let's move on, shall we? Atari. And God bless Atari. We know that they're coming out with a new system and all that type of stuff. We'll see how far that goes. But Atari resurrects an arcade classic. And I want people to hear this, because there are going to be some people out there who love this game, all right? Arcade classic, Tempest. That's right. Tempest 4000 will be coming this holiday season. That's right, Tempest. So, we'll see what happens with that holiday season for the Tempest fans. I know there's some Tempest fans out there. Get ready. Get ready. Esports, baby. Esports. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's move on, shall we? In bad news, Middle-earth, Mordor. That's right. Shadow of Mordor will have single-player microtransactions and also loot boxes. Why do you need single-player microtransactions? It's for the single-player game. Why do you need this? Someone tell me this. Oh, I forgot. WB Games. That's why. Because they haven't fucked you over enough with Batman. And people are going to still buy it, right? Still going to buy it, though. You just ignore all the history of this other shit. And don't get me wrong. Shadow of Mordor. I've had close friends talk to me about it. I've actually tested it out. It is a good game. It's a quality game. It is. But when you have WB Games who are just trying to fuck you every 5 seconds every time they come up with a release. Seriously, microtransactions, single player, really? Really? It's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. Just this. Also, and more news with bad business practices, alright? Fortnite. I want to talk about this because this was sent to me. Fortnite game has too many bad business practices, but, to give the game a pass. Apparently this game is a good quality game, but because of it, it's so bad. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do is, in the description field, I'm going to put a link to Fortnite, where a player who's been pretty much on Fortnite, been hardcore on Fortnite, because he was promoting it and everything, plays it on Twitch, right? And then realizes that there's so many different tiers of getting you to buy it, he gets upset on Twitch and freaks out. He is so pissed off, because he bought a specific edition, then they had another edition that was hiding from him. And the new edition that he has to buy is like $99. So he's upset. So what I'll do is I will put that in the description field so that you can see it. The video isn't that long, but so you can see it. And I understand his frustration. I do. That's absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, that's all news I have for today. And I'm feeling pretty good. But like this, it's been something that you've seen, over and over. Developers acting a fool, companies acting a fool, gamers acting a fool, media acting a fool. It goes to show you that these things, I do them all the time, but there's no shortage of them. Because for some reason, it's not getting better. Nobody's learning from their lesson. No one's learning from history, it seems. And yeah, this is my final thoughts right now. Because as far as I'm concerned, I forgot, final thoughts. Yeah. Anyways, you have to understand though, like, these type of things, it hurts us. It hampers the community a lot because you're still going to have people in our say community that's going to be like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to buy it here. Take my money. It's like, no, you can't do that. You can't. Look what's going on. Don't get duped. Don't get hustled. You know what I mean? There are things that clearly do not need. Microtransactions, a single player game, you don't need that. You don't. They chose to put it in there and try to get more money out of you. That's all it is. All right? You don't need that. I don't care if it's in-game, if it's real money. I don't care what it is. You don't need it. It's not called for. All right? As you know, in games, you're going to have, anyways, when you're playing certain games like that, you're going to have designated stations for you to upgrade your weapons and stuff like that anyway. You know what I mean? And your health and all that. We play these games. We've been playing these games for years. Have we not? We know the standards, good standards, on what helps us progress in games. We see this all the time. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't see why it's called for. I don't. It's very upsetting. It is. Because there's going to be people who are going to just say, hey, forget that. Instead of saying, I'll wait for the Game of the Year edition where you get everything flat. Yeah. It really bothers me as a fan of gaming. And as you can see, the things that I talk about, you know what I mean? There's things that definitely need to be cleaned up in our community. But nobody, it seems, cares. Especially the media. They don't care. They don't. They will do whatever they need for some reason to get views, clicks, whatever. Likes, retweets on their Twitter, whatever. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to fault Max for him making that video. No, he made that video. That's how he feels. He speculated. If that's what he's guessing on, that's what he's guessing on. That's him. But the fact that they took it and ran with it and made an article about it, that's absolutely ridiculous. Especially when we have a lot of serious issues in this community that need to be cleaned up. I don't want to hear, because a lot of people say, we don't ever see bullying. We don't ever see this stuff. In the previous couple of weeks, I have shown you it. I have shown you it. So, what's the excuse now? Huh? Oh, I forgot. Week after week, something new happens, and people forget that it happens. They have short-term memory. I swear to God, their brains are like squirrels. It's amazing how we can sit here and we can praise all these big-time players. You know what I mean? Oh, they're so good, blah, 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 but they never use their influence for something good. It's always, hey, guys, I'm going to do a giveaway so I can get more followers. What's the matter? Who cares? Like, come on, let's be, once again, we play games. We play games. That's what we do. We hit buttons. We try to figure out strategies to beat certain things. We play games. Never would I thought that people would try to become Hollywood because they play games. Or you can just fake it the entire time if you want to really be big. Hello, Markiplier. Yeah. It's hard to watch. It just is. It goes against everything, and that's the thing. I feel as though YouTube, while it can be good if you use it for the right things, there's a lot of people who use it for the wrong things, and it hurts the community bad. Like I say, it just does. It does. You have guys on here who will act the fool. We've seen guys on here pull out weapons on camera and threaten other gamers simply because of difference of opinion on a game or a console. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That hurts our community so much. Because and these are from grown men. These aren't kids. These are grown men doing this. I don't know. This is not how it's supposed to be. Like I tell y'all, every time when I end a video, go play games, go have fun. This is how it works. Every time. You deal with the problems, you deal with the serious stuff, you work hard, then you play hard. So you deal with the issues, and then you go and you play and you have fun. That's what you do. But instead, you keep seeing this, it's almost like a tagline now, where people are like, I just want to play games. It's like a tagline now. Like, are you serious? Like, if you if you care about games, you care about the industry, if you care about this community, then you're going to definitely be involved in all this type of stuff. And be like, what's going on here? I don't know. It's like I said, it's very bothering. And Smash community, I don't ever want to hear that, you didn't have your chances. It's quite clear as day what's going on. And yet you're still not doing anything about it. Seriously, it's time to set a standard. Make him patient zero. Seriously, ban him. He's done. I can even understand at times, look, we've talked about physical altercations before. Alright? And players getting mad because they lost and you throw a punch. That's uncalled for. You know what I mean? Because you lost. It's a game. Come on now. You're supposed to, the number one thing I think people don't understand, the number one rule to fighting games is that you're supposed to be having fun, no matter if you win or lose. That's what it is. I don't care how hard you trained, if that's what you want to call it. I don't care how much you've been coached. I don't care. Alright? At the end of the day, if you're not having fun in the flow of the fight, if it's not fun for you, and you've just made it so robotical and technical, and you're winning is everything, and then you lose, and then you have a breakdown, then you're playing the game for the wrong reasons. You don't understand the spirit of fighting games then. You can still lose and still smile and say, look, that was a great match. I lost, but that was a great fucking match. Congratulations. You can do that. But we don't see that these days. No. You may see it from outsiders who are viewing it, but you don't see that really that much from competitors these days. Competitors. You don't see it that much. And that's the problem I think we're having. I think it's been lost in some type of translation where winning is everything and they're going to do whatever they need to do to win. And if you're playing online, my win streak's getting ready to lose, I'm going to disconnect. Or I'm going to do, we see this way too much. Way too much. It's not cool at all. And for some reason, when people do shit like this, they're actually praised. I don't get it. I don't get it. Is there some type of dysfunction that I don't understand? You know what? I'm done. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. Like I said again, please donate to the charity. It's something that helps people. Not sending players to somewhere else so they can get DQ'd, but actually helping children so that they can live. There's a difference. All right? There's a difference. Thursday, stream usual. We'll go back to Bloodborne. Okay? I had a lot of fun in Bloodborne, and we're going to have a team again for Bloodborne. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get it in. The revenge was good last time. Let's get back to it. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.